All right, good evening, everyone. It's a little louder than I thought it would be. All right, welcome to the Metroplex. I'm Brandon Johnson. I represent District 1 on the Wichita City Council. Before I get into my brief remarks, I definitely want to thank Evergy for working with the City of Wichita on organizing and co-hosting this meeting tonight. And also Wichita State, they've always been supportive when we've needed meeting space for whatever community conversations going on, so definitely want to thank Wichita State. I also want to thank our city engineer, who probably doesn't want me to say it, but Gary Jansen, and Public Works and Utilities team members, as well as Tasha Hayes, our Community Services Rep for District 1, for helping out and organizing this meeting tonight. We are here tonight not only to provide information to our community, but also to hear from you as well. Evergy has quite a bit of information to share with you this evening, as well as visuals. Everyone on phase 1 remembers visuals. Visuals will be shared tonight, and everything will be talked about in detail regarding the upcoming phase 2 transmission line upgrade that you will hear about shortly when I step off the stage. Just for your knowledge, there are 2 options tonight going forward. Some of you have already told me you want more than 2 options, but there are 2 options being talked about tonight. On the survey, I think there's space for you to provide your thoughts on anything else, but there are 2 options we are talking about. The current transmission route, which heads north on Volusia through the A. Price Woodard neighborhood up to 16th Street, and then east to the Fairmount neighborhood and up to Innovation Campus. And then there's also the Redbud Trail option, which, for clarity, I am the one that suggested the Redbud Trail option. So that was me. Evergy has done the due diligence with our Public Works team to look at that. So those are the 2 options. That will run east along the trail from the Mossman substation to the Innovation Campus substation along the Redbud path. So again, tonight you have the opportunity to weigh in and let us know which one you prefer, as well as what kind of steel you would like to see on any of the steel poles over there. There are 2 options, galvanized and oxidized. Oxidized, if you don't know, would be like a darker, rusty color. You'll see images of that as well during their presentation, as well as learn some of the reasons that these upgrades are happening. So tonight is both informational and also hearing feedback from you all. You will be asked to provide in the survey name and address when giving feedback. That's not to discount anything. It's to be able to map out where comments are coming from, who's saying what, and along which of those proposed paths is the feedback coming from. Even if you don't live around one of those proposed paths and you give a survey response, we'll be able to track where that's coming from. Again, the opinion of the community and thoughts of the community are extremely important, and we want to hear back from you. We do want to hear from you on these options, and again, if you have neighbors along those paths who are not here tonight, I did hear some people had completed the survey prior to this meeting, but if you also know other neighbors who have not, please encourage them to complete the survey, answer the questions being asked, so that we can get the most accurate information from the community about what the community wants. So with that, I will definitely cut my time, because I don't have all the details that Evergy does. I want to make sure that they can share as much information as possible. And then after their presentation, you see the booths and tables up here. Please go to those, engage with folks, and ask every question you can think of. Those are the individuals that have the answers, and then you have an opportunity to give that survey. Again, no question is a dumb question. Ask every question you can. They even have a table about the electromagnetic field and effects. So again, if you have questions, concerns, ask at those booths, and please get those surveys complete. We want to hear from everyone. The city will see the data, Evergy will see the data. We want to be transparent in this process and engage on the front end rather than later after decisions have been made and holes have been dug. No construction has started yet. We're just picking up on phase 2. And for those of you who remember, phase 2 had been paused after phase 1 just because of all the community feedback and what we were working through. So now we're at the beginning of phase 2, and we want to hear from everyone. So with that, thank you all for being here. If you do have friends and you want to text them, we'll be here till 8 o'clock. It's come and go after Evergy gets done, so folks can come in and go to each one of these booths and get their questions answered. So with that, again, thank you for being here, and I'll turn it over to Jeff with Evergy.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Martin. I'm the Vice President of Customer Operations with Evergy. Thank you for being here this evening. So updating this equipment here this evening that delivers power to our customers is a priority, as is being a good neighbor and community partner. The lessons we learned from the first phase of the project continue to guide improvements to our process and our communications. We are committed to working with the community to reduce the impact while continuing to provide safe and reliable power. So a little bit about the meeting format tonight. We have Evergy representatives set up at tables throughout the room to help answer your questions and hear your concerns after the presentation. We also have the survey available for you to share your preferences for the project. It can be completed from your phone, tablet, or computer through September 1st. We also have computers on site if you would like to complete the survey before you leave tonight. We also have Evergy representatives available to speak about the programs and the options if you need any assistance with your bills. So Evergy is preparing to rebuild the 60-year-old 2-mile transmission line that connects the Mossman substation located at Mossman and Chautauqua Streets to the Wichita State University substation located at 17th and Bluff. To deliver customers the power they need, power must move between the two substations. To continue to do so reliably and safely, the transmission line that connects them must be rebuilt. The City of Wichita asked us to explore the possibility of rebuilding the line along the Redbud Trail instead of the existing route, and we are here tonight to seek input from all of you to see if that is a viable option for you. So upgrading the transmission line and using larger poles is needed to ensure our equipment meets modern National Electric Safety Code standards for reliability and safety. The project replaces a transmission line from the 1960s that is nearing the end of its service life. The upgrades will enhance electric reliability and support growth in Wichita, as well as strengthen the regional power grid. The new line will be stronger, more efficient, and will incorporate technology that can help reduce power outages both in frequency and in length. The new line will be capable of carrying additional electricity later if it is needed, so we don't have to cause any further disruptions and incur the additional cost of rebuilding the line again in the future. New modern transmission lines and substations are needed to meet growing community and regional needs for reliable electricity and replacement of aging infrastructure. Growing demand for energy requires investment in and expansion of transmission lines and substations. These investments lay the foundation for reliable, affordable, sustainable, and safe energy for customers and communities for the long term. All stakeholders have a viewpoint about projects, and Evergy works to weigh the effect on and the needs of stakeholders while still completing necessary upgrades that ensure that reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy. This map shows the upgrades we have made to the existing transmission lines since 2007, as well as new substations. Overlaying that is the map that shows the upgrades we have planned for existing transmission lines through 2024, as well as new substations. We continue to invest in Wichita's power grid to ensure safe and reliable service. And these projects affect customers and communities across our entire city. Transmission lines are like interstate highways, carrying electricity long distances from substation to substation. And then distribution lines are like city streets, carrying electricity to neighborhoods and businesses. Cost and feasibility prevent undergrounding. In many places, room isn't available to rebuild the transmission line underground because of other utilities, such as natural gas and water, that are already underground in the area. Transmission lines carry more electricity than distribution lines, which results in larger and more complex construction and higher cost when buried. The cost of constructing underground transmission lines generally is about 8 times more than overhead. As we work to maintain affordable electric rates, we must take this into account, as all these costs are paid for by you, our customers. Both the existing route and the Redbud Trail are technically feasible. If we follow the existing route, we would use wood poles where the lines follow a straight direction, and steel poles on the street corners or where the line changes direction. If we follow the Redbud Trail, we will use all steel because of the changes in direction, along with the trail's terrain, which will require larger poles. We will ask for your route preference in the online survey. The existing line has been in place since the 1960s, so rebuilding the line in its current alignment would affect the same landowners it currently affects, while rebuilding the line along the Redbud Trail would affect a new set of landowners. Both routes would require tree trimming and removal for the safe construction and operation of the transmission line. Construction on either route is scheduled to be completed by December 2025. As Councilman Johnson noted, there are different styles of steel poles. Steel poles can either be galvanized or weathered, depending on the community's preference. Examples of both these steel types can be found at Kellogg and Greenwich. This line, however, has not been designed yet, so the pole sizes have not been yet determined. So these examples would be for you to see the different options. And again, we will ask the steel type preference in the online survey. The potential for health effects caused by power lines has been studied for many years, and no correlation has been found to transmission lines. Evergy does not consider electromagnetic fields to be a health threat based on published information. Evergy has adopted a prudent avoidance approach when locating all of our electric facilities. This means we locate transmission lines in a manner that minimizes exposure to electromagnetic fields. We encourage you to review the credible published research information from sources like the National Institution of Health and make your own determination. In fact, we have that research available for you this evening at one of the tables. To meet the National Electric Safety Code, the new poles will have to be taller. Moving the transmission lines further away from the homes decreases any exposure. Your input will help us determine which route to build. Again, please complete your survey before September 1st. And again, it can be completed from your phone, tablet, home computer. We also have the computers on site before you leave. Evergy is committed to transparent and timely communications with stakeholders who have an interest in this project, including neighborhood residents. We're in the early planning process, and specific details about pole sizes and locations aren't yet known. However, as the plans for the project are developed and the route is determined, we will share the details with residents in the area and host a community open house very much like this. Evergy representatives are set up at the tables throughout the room to help answer your questions and hear your concerns. Thank you again for your input this evening and throughout the next few weeks as you complete the online survey, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you. With that, we'll go ahead and break from the formal presentation, and all of the tables behind you have the information that I covered, and you can have your answers or your questions answered there. Thank you.